Welcome to the Voracious Reader. I'm Stephanie Foley. I love to read, especially nonfiction books that explore the art of life, the science of afterlife, the nature of reality, and the nation of imagine. Thank you for joining me as I share what I learn and what inspires me from books. I am delighted to share today Outrageous Openness by Tosha Silver. She was a writer for the San Francisco Examiner, and this book is a collection of her columns. And what she says about writing, this will be a great way to start it out. She had been hired to do some other kinds of writing jobs throughout her life. One of them was to kind of write these pithy little encouraging statements that would go out to people via email. And she tried, but she couldn't. She says she's loved the tales of a divine in regular life since she was a child. I obsessively collected them the way some people collect rare wines or Barbie dolls. Any story of a miracle or strange synchronicity held me captive. Over time, the divine and the mundane simply became completely intertwined in my mind, one and the same. And so that reveals what I love about Tosha's writing, because she's so new age flaky, but grounded in the mundane. It's a beautiful combination. She, I believe, is an astrologer by trade. In fact, I think she expected her articles to be more about astrology, but they're not. They're whimsical. They're about day-to-day life. Not that there's anything wrong with astrology. That's very useful to many people. Sometimes grounding that information in a day-to-day reality, though, is where it becomes the most useful for people, and Tosha does a fantastic job of that. I want to share with you just some of the cool things she writes about, because you can really relate to them. Okay, so she talks about shopping with God, and she talks about how putting it out there, asking for help, looking for synchronicities, and being open to having things come to you in ways you might not expect can be really helpful. She was needing to do a book proposal and shopped around to find out about somebody who could do that for her, and realized they were going to charge $250 an hour. She said, "Wow, are you kidding?" I gasped, doing some quick calculations. "That's over $7,000. "Well, I do have a handy flexible payment plan," the person had said. And then she remembered, that's what a book proposal costs without God. And so she decided she'd better look for another way to do this and ask for some help. And so she prayed about it. And within a month, a writer friend of hers from New Mexico serendipitously emailed me one of her own proposals. "Hey, you popped into my mind tonight," she wrote. "In case you're still working on that thing, just use mine like a map. You'll finish in no time." And she was right. So sometimes opening your mind to doing things a little differently, you don't need to maybe purchase a service. You can do it yourself with a little help, with an example to follow. There's stories in here about, finding the good parking spot, or getting a penthouse for $700 a month. Very practical, down-to-earth problem solving. Tosha recommends we put it out there that we need the help, that we ask for help, that we look for signs and ideas about how to proceed, and that these things can come together for us. I loved this one. This whole section was called Nothing Personal. And she was talking about a trip where she went to New York, and she stepped out of the line to get her stuff organized in the airport, and a woman was there by the time she went to get back in. And so she got really, her face twisted into a dark mask of anger. She screamed, "Listen, lady, I don't care about your freaking story. Just get back in the line." And, chaos ensued, that kind of thing. But instead of Tosha getting freaked out or panicked or feeling guilty or anything, she just actually was really fascinated by the whole thing, and she stepped back and she just kind of watched. She said her reaction was so torrential and unexpected that I just gasped. And then I flashed onto how I would have reacted in the past, and thought about how a knee-jerk reaction might have been to get defensive, defend her territory, get angry back, any number of things. Think about how you might respond. But now there was a different option in front of her. And actually, as she attacked, a sense arose within me, wow, this poor disturbed lady. she can barely get through the day. Wow, empathy. So empathy starts to come for the people who treat you poorly once you start to get a little more connected and realize that you're not alone. And so good things can come your way and negative things can come your way. You don't have to take any of it personally. You can ask for help. So it's just a collection of really short stories. Not a single one of these little articles is more than a page or two long. It's a great read. I'll share a few more topics here for you to get a feel for it. The only one consistent theme throughout the whole book is put it out there, ask for help. Outrageous openness. Be open to life, be open to possibilities. Here's one. Okay, so she talked about how she always wanted to travel, and more often than not, when she would make travel plans, something would happen to block those plans. Things didn't work out. And one time she was sitting in a sushi bar, and there was a woman in there talking to a guy at another table, visiting from Denmark. She began to go on about a loud travelogue, she called it. Oh, yes, she said, we did northern Italy last fall, and oh, a must do, and before that we begged Belgium and Prague and Berlin, and oh, of course, Provence and Paris, blah, blah, blah. You can imagine there's like a whole paragraph here. I'll spare you reading it. But as the young Dane tried to politely listen, his eyes glazed over and the woman went on and on and on. And Tosha's watching all of this happen. And the longer she listened, the more tired Tosha became and realized that there's kind of a profound, bottomless, existential exhaustion. I felt I might drown right there in the wee bee sushi, face down in my miso soup from the sheer futility of it all. This woman's relentless chase of the world's mirages left me utterly, thoroughly spent. And so that was an interesting perspective for her to realize, you know, she wanted to do all this travel and then to have it be brought to her attention that even that can become this thing if we let it. The reason to share that one isn't so much being open to a synchronicity. Well, of course, she got that message. I guess that was a synchronicity. But just to get a flavor of her down-to-earth humor and writing style. And like I said, it's a quick read because all the little articles are short. So it's the kind of book you can have sitting on the counter, pick up and read while you're waiting for, you know, the toaster to pop or whatever. Zen traffic. I want to share this section, and then I've got one like little poem thing to wrap it up here at the end. But Zen traffic, this is awesome. Okay. Trust that there's enough. When a person dives in like a raven taking somebody else's parking spot, you figure they don't trust that there's another spot open with their name on it. So trust that you might have a parking spot. Generosity. Some people maneuver like everybody else is an obstacle, but driving is an easy place to be kind. So be kind, be generous when you drive. Being with what is, sometimes there's nothing to do but surrender, and talking about traffic jams, that sort of thing. Abundance. My friend Cynthia taught me this. I used to park blocks away, and as soon as I saw something, I would park, and she scolded me saying, no, at least drive by first to see if there's a spot up close. Compassion. I love to be in the car when my pal Chi from Alabama drives. Once when somebody cut her off and flipped her the bird, she drawled, "Why, that poor child just didn't get enough loving when he was little. Betcha he never even got breastfed as a baby. That's why people do all this junk later, you know." So, I mean, I just love her writing style. I think you'll enjoy it as well. To wrap it up, it's good to know both your specialness and your utter dispensability. Yes, your dispensability. Then you can let go and embrace it all. You can play your role in this exquisite, absurd story with complete abandon. You can be a melting snowflake, a drifting leaf, a nature spirit dancing in a pond. And if you touch any heart with what you do, and if you touch any heart with what you do, for the brief moments you are here, that is enough. Well, Tosha Silver, you have touched my heart with this really sweet book, and I recommend it. Create a great day.